I'm trying to understand, because we are in a culture where we rely on what it does for me, and whereas these people live on a different plane, like they're servicing other people, so that me attitude is not there.
It's a new trend worldwide. It's great. I mean, have you heard of this New Yorker who made a lot of splash recently? His name is Julio Diaz. Have you heard the story of Julio Diaz? He was coming out of a subway station on a train, and he got held up at knife point by a thief. And so he had to give him all his money. As the thief was walking away, he said, "Listen, hey man, it's a little cold. Do you want my coat also?" So the thief turned around, he took his coat off, and he gave him the coat. He said, "You look a little hungry. You want to go out for dinner?" He took him for dinner. After dinner, I said, "Since you have my wallet, do you mind paying the bill?" And then he convinced him to give him his knife, and they became best friends, and they started a charity together. There's another fellow I met recently who started in Berkeley a kitchen called Karma Kitchen, a restaurant. You go there, you eat whatever you want. When you get the bill, it's zero. And when you leave, there's a place where you can leave money in, if you want to, whatever. There's a 3-month waiting list. He's opening 10 other restaurants like this. Harvard Business School wanted to do a case study on them. He said, "The only way I'll let you do a case study is you come and work as volunteers in the kitchen or as waiters." So Harvard Business School professors are working as waiters in his restaurant. He started a whole new trend. He's got 17,000 volunteers, young people working for him. They volunteer 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week, but multiply that by 17,000. That's a lot of productivity there. You know, if you look at, I think that's going to be the future, by the way, sustainable models of service. Look at Wikipedia. You know, they produce 300 million hours of work per day, all through volunteers.
So do you see this as a way of lessening the social problems that we have?
Absolutely. It's going to be the new trend. Actually, President Obama has created a whole campaign called Global Partnerships, where the private sector, volunteers, government, and corporate sponsors will work together, you know, and with other multinationally, not just restricted to the US. This is a great trend. It's going to change everything, hopefully. If there is one thing that changes the demographic of a society or a community, it's financially empowering women. It completely changes everything. Children go to school, AIDS comes down, business improves. You know, so the empowerment of women in poor countries is through microfinance is the most effective strategy.
Are you referring to Mr. Youssef in Bangladesh?
Well, yeah, he started it, but it's now a big trend everywhere. In fact, it's the best business for banks right now because they get their money back. 98% of the money is coming back.
Would you have ever thought he would have even a project in New York?
Well, now there are projects all over the US as well, yeah.
So do you have any programs, when it comes to microfinancing for women? Do you have plans? Or?
We have the Start Fund that I mentioned. If you go to my website, Deepak Chopra, you scroll down to Chopra Foundation, you'll find the Start Fund. It gives all the details. And right now we just give the money. We don't expect it back. But I think we may look into that, because even if you get the money back, you can pour it back into the... There's some very creative people doing microfinance in the US. There's an organization called Lingerie Miami, Lingerie New York. I've actually helped them. They do fashion shows with supermodels, and then they sell the lingerie, and the money goes for microfinance. And so very creative.